Okay, welcome to the second most awesome video for statistics. What we're going to do is we're going to code the calorie per day, fat per day, and sodium per day variables that we made into categorical variables first. And then we're going to start ranking places for healthy foods and not healthy foods. So whenever you're going to go recode something, we're going to use the transform. Go to transform. We're going to recode into different variables. Now, the way we're going to recode, I'm going to make this big so you can see it. The way we're going to recode is we're going to look at things that have more than 30% of their daily value. Basically, you should have a third of your daily values of different things per meal. So if something's more than a third, it's egregious or too much. So let's look at calories per day, fat per day, and sodium per day. Okay, so we're going to call this over cal. So it's over the number of calories. Over the number of calories. Okay, and this one's going to be over fat. Amount of fat. Okay, and this one's going to be over NA. Over, oops. It's really fun watching me edit. Amount of salt. Okay, so I just changed each one of these, and then I'm going to click old and new values right here. So I'm going to say if the value is from 0 through 0.29, I'm going to call that a 1. If it's 0.3, I'm going to put a 5 there, which is a max possible anything could be. It's going to be called a 2. Okay, and so I'm going to hit. So what it basically is saying is if the value on the column calories per day, fat per day, or sodium per day is between 0 and 29.29, it's going to code that as a 1 in a new variable. It'll show up right over here. If it's 0.3 to 5, it's going to show up as a 2. So this is under daily amount. This is over daily amount. So and the nice thing is it does it for everybody. Click OK. So the chart I'm going to make in just a minute. So now I have over calorie, over fat, over sodium. It's very exciting. Notice they're 1s and 2s. So now I'm going to go down to my variable view, and I'm going to say what these are. Over the amount, there it is. Over the amount, I'm going to change the number to amount of calories. Now, notice up here where the values button is. I'm going to click on values and see the 3 dots. I'm going to click on the 3 dots. I'm going to say is 1, and we coded that as from 0 to 0.29%. And then 2 is going to represent 0.3 to max percent. In other words, we're just going to change these two names. Okay? The cool thing is now, if I hit Control C, then I can hit paste, and it does it again. Or you hit right click, copy, paste, right click, paste. So now, what I want to do is I want to show you how to make some graphs, and I'll show you why I just did that. First graphs, let's stick with these same 3 things that we're looking at. The first graph we're going to make is called a frequency histogram. Frequency histograms are beautiful, they're simple, so I'm going to go to graphs. I don't know why it says legacy dialogues, but it does. And then we're going to go all the way to the bottom to histogram. Okay, and let's look at the histogram of calories. So I'm going to take it, put it over here, and I'm display normal curve. So I took calories, put it in here, and hit OK. And then we see this chart, We see this chart, and here's a percentage of all the calories. That's a lot of information, though. Now, I just narrowed this down. So the percent, so I can also make a histogram of the percent. So I go to graph. Let's look at the calories percent daily calories. And then let's look at over calories percent daily value. Okay, and this is the one I showed in class the other day. Calories per day. Okay, super nice. But that doesn't really tell me anything other than the frequency of each of those. So then I can make this graph. So I'm going to make a bar graph. Bar graph. I'm going to make a simple bar graph. And I'm going to say it's the number of cases and over the amount. So I'm going to put a categorical variable here. This is the one I just made, over the amount of calories. And so that says there's 300 food items that are below. If I double click on this, there's this little thing that looks like a target right here, data label mode. I click on that, and then I can click on the graph, and I get the values. So it's actually 100. But again, this is just a frequency. So that's 327 of the food items are below 29%, and 182 are above 30%. So then we want to break it down one more further. We can go to graph, and then we can go to legacy dialogues, and we go to bar graph, and this time I'm going to make a clustered graph. Not simple, but clustered, because I'm going to put chilies on here. Okay, so now I'm going to put the categories. Remember, we're looking at number of cases, amount of calories, in the over amount of calories, and then I'm going to put the chilies versus not chilies. So the clusters will be defined by chilies, not chilies. You can move them around and look at it however you want. And then you start to realize not chilies has 200 food items. I'm going to double click on this so I can actually report the real numbers. Click, click, click. Then we start to see that out of the non-food items, 205 of the non-food items from not chilies have less than 29%, and 122 from chilies. But when you look at the over, 102 have at chilies have over. So if you look at the relationship between the two green bars from chilies versus the relationship between the blue bars, is that the other places it's almost 2 to 1, more than 2 to 1, 3 to 1, almost difference. But at chilies they're almost equal. And there's another way to show this. It's called a crosstabs. Go to analyze, okay, and then we go to descriptive statistics, and then all the way down it's called crosstabs. Crosstabs are awesome. You learn to use them. We use them a lot. They're really great looking at data. Okay, so reset. So a crosstab is going to show the same thing as this graph. So I'm going to look at the amount of calories over calories, and then chilies versus not chilies. Exactly the same. So you put the two things in the graph. I like to display clustered bar charts because that's going to make this graph. Okay, and you can also do statistics, but we're not going to do that right now. And hit OK. So now we have a table. The table actually shows you the numbers, and then the graph shows you the chart. So there are kind of three things that do the same thing, except this will also do more in terms of statistics. This is what we're going to be doing a lot today.